Hey y'all, it's your girl Millie Chun. Let's get into the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's go. I think Marlo coming to support Sanya in this part was really sweet, right? I know how most of you feel about Marlo, but I really like Marlo. And I know she can be a mean girl, but sometimes she's really sweet. I feel like Sanya should not have involved her son this early on. She shouldn't have told anyone this early, but I realized she wanted to do that for the show. But anything can happen. Okay, Drew is so excited about what she's doing. Like this text message situation between her and Don Juan is just her just being into the moment, right? And she should have support from her number one supporter, who should be Ralph. So in this scene, Drew is telling Ralph that she hasn't seen him, she hasn't talked to him, and he says he's been working, he's been grinding. We're sure that you're grinding on someone, but we want to know what it is that you do for work. And then for him to put down her movie, right? Saying that you just doing these certain kind of scenes. She's like, is that all you think it is? Like, I got pages, like I gotta talk. Ridiculous. Like BAN society member at large. I don't like the way he looks at her. It's very condescending, disrespectful, narcissistic. Like, Drew, really, like, you just doing something. And then he goes, I've been trying to help you. So then they show where he's actually sleeping in the house, right? And he says, when she asked him, when are you coming back in the room? He said, I don't know until I can get some stability. Now, I think he was supposed to move back when it wrapped. So I think it has wrapped at this point. But this is where he is choosing to sleep and text Tampa. That's what I think anyway. So when the B word had come up, I literally thought she was talking about Sanya. Did you think that? Because they pointed to Sanya, and when she said, no, this be even question, she was pointing to Sanya. Was she meaning in reference to Drew? Let me know what you got from that. Child, this scene right here, when she was trying to explain to him that it was wrong for Courtney to call her out of her name, and he wants to rattle off who else has called her out of her name, that doesn't make a difference. Like she said, this is supposed to be family. Supposed to be family. Then when he said, what does that have to do with me? What? Child, in this scene, when she was trying to explain to him that Courtney should not have been calling her out of her name, and then he rattles off all the other girls that have done that, and then she has to explain to him, this is your family that you've known for 2 minutes. Your family. Then for him to say, what did Courtney say offensive to me? Drew, run. Because you've had enough of this. And at this moment, he's still trying to explain to her how many other girls have called her out of her name. Like, Drew, this is ridiculous. Like, I would be devastated if my man would support me like this. Ralph is horrible. One thing about a sister, she always knows, right? And Allison, in this face, she already knows that when Drew had come downstairs with the look on her face, she knew who put it there. And this is all the energy she has for Ralph, including myself. I have this energy too. I love it. I simply could not with this. This is the most passive aggressiveness ever. He knew what he said upstairs. And he knew Allison was downstairs. So he had to come and look like he is supporting her. This makes her extremely upset. It makes me mad too. I cannot with Ralph telling Allison that she's called Drew out of her name. Like Allison said, if she doesn't want to be called a banana, then that's what it is. Don't call me that. He is trying to make an excuse for something that's wrong. Drew, this man don't even like you, girl. Let alone love. He don't even like you. And then to sit there and grab her, tell me some, why you crying? The way he looked at her, Drew, this man does not even like you. And he hasn't liked you for a very long time. Girl, you can do better than this. Right? You can do better. Ralph is despicable. Okay, now, Tiara is not Bob's daughter, right? But Sheree says that they have a close relationship. Why would Tiara not tell Sheree about the baby? Because she had been to dinners with the baby. Like, since she's been older. I would have told my mama so fast, it would have made his head spin. And to know he kind of cheated on my mama to get this baby. But I'm like, Sheree, I ain't about to let this bother me, child. I mean, she does have a good poker face. I know she's hurt a little bit, but girl, it's over now. That girl grown. Let's keep going. And this right here is just ridiculous. So I am so glad for Sheree that this season is over. So we can just leave Martell over there where he needs to be left. Just over there. I love Kenya's daddy on this show, right? He brings out a part of her that I can appreciate. I like her a lot with her dad on the show. And he's real sweet with Brooklyn. But he is in support of her having a surrogate because he was like, she almost lost her life having Brooklyn. So that's good that she has that support from a parent. I'm really happy that she is not going to carry a baby and she's thinking about a surrogate because that's a lot. But more than that, I feel like Mark would have her served the moment the baby comes out with custody papers. Sometimes you just can't tell, can you? You need to just tread lightly with this girl. I want you to have another one if you want one, but tread lightly with that Mark Daly DNA. Y'all can say what y'all want to say about Marlo being a mean girl. I do agree with you. Sometimes she is. But baby, I love this, right? Can you sit there and talk about her, how she got somebody out of the blue? It don't matter what's going on. She got him, and he looks like he wants to be there. I love Scott Lee and Marlo, and I hope this is a real deal, and I hope they're still moving well together. I love them together. So Drew has got Ralph here with Dr. Ken, right? And he's talking about his changes that he's made. And she's like, what changes? He said, proudly, I left the room. That is not a solution. Ralph, not when your wife wants you in bed with her and wants her marriage. So then when Dr. Ken asks him moving out of the bedroom, how does that feel? She says she feels alone. He feels liberated. Drew, I don't know what else you need. Like, I understand you want your marriage, you love your husband. I get it. But girl, this man don't even like you. Clearly, it is affecting the children. This is from her baby. And she explains why he's in there. Then he wants to gaslight and say, no, it's the way she says it. I don't know what daddy's doing. She said, I get home so late and he has work in the morning. I usually wake him up. She's not even talking about him. She's talking about what she is doing to affect him. Child, I cannot. If you want all this liberation and smelling the roses and the fruits of your labor, Ralph, you need to pack your stuff and actually leave instead of making the kids wonder what's going on, making Drew wonder what's going on. This is crazy. And then you want to talk about the temperature in the room? Really? Child. P.S. He talking about Drew can win and he can win. Drew's not winning. He talking about stay by himself and refresh. Buy yourself in your own stuff. Oh, I wish I could curse the way I want to curse, Lord. Okay, raise your hands if y'all really think that this is the bag Martell bought Sheree. Right? Raise your hands. I gotta keep going, but y'all let me know if y'all raised your hands in the comments. So we have made it to the premiere, y'all. And Don Juan did such a great job putting those stars on the walkway. I thought that was cute and just really attention to detail. And congratulations, Candy. Your movie was really good. Plot twist out of this world. I enjoyed it. I'm almost 100% sure that this was the outfit that Akilah was going to wear to the baby sipping seat. Because this is the color scheme. So she had to show up like this. Just to let us know. Give it up one time for Ross in the building. Thank you, Cynthia, for answering this question. Who is Dismay Hoppo? It is Jason, is her hairstylist. We got Mama Joyce in the building. We haven't seen her in a minute. She looks great. And then we got Ty in the building. Allegedly, this is who Drew supposedly has a relationship with. Let's keep going. It was Allison for me. When Courtney came up to talking about, let me speak to Allison, and Allison said, mm-mm. And then she realized, oh, I can't. Exactly. Because Allison says she's being fake. And then we don't even know if you're really Ralph's cousin. And then we really don't like the fact that you done called this girl's sister out of her name. Allegedly. And this is Candy's face at her event when Courtney pulls Allison to the side to talk to her because she knows how this can go. And she's not trying to have this at her event. I'm going on to a part 2. Bye-bye. Hey, y'all, it's your girl, Millie Chine, part 2 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. We're just going to get right into it. So at this moment, Allison and Drew are confronting Courtney about calling Drew the B word. Allison said she just apologized to get Drew to shut up, right? She said that she just wanted her to stop talking about it, so she just said she said it. I really don't think she said it. I really do think she was talking to Sanya. Let me know what you think. Y'all, I thought Marlo looked great when she came in the building. Actually, all of the girls looked great when they came in the building. But then, child, what is Sheree doing? Like, I mean, she looks good, but really, all of this? What is that? Scott Lee once again has shown up for Marlo. There are other people who have not had people to show up for them. And I'm going to leave it there. Let's keep going. So at this point, Ralph is trying to be a supportive husband. And Drew has said that it is kind of confusing the way he shows up like this, right? Because you know he doesn't mean that. He has to be there because he's her husband. And he would look more like a BAN if he was not there. Let's keep going. I feel so happy for Drew because she seems to be really happy in this moment with everything that she has going on. So that's good. It seems as if Scott Lee and Marlo are really trying to foster their relationship. And I really, really, really hope that they do. I really love them together. I really have to agree with Kenya at this point. She is so right. She had a full soft opening for a salon that clearly is open. And the show did not show any of that. Only thing they showed is when she and her friend were there with a hard hat on, talking about what is to come. This would have been something good for us to see for Kenya. The whole process. I don't know why they did her like that. I know Kenya wants to have another baby. I know she does. But this little last part right here, Mark recently moved to have Kenya held in contempt of court. Kenya, he is clearly trying to hurt you. More DNA with Mark would be horrible. Can you believe this? Like, are they going to ever get a divorce? This is horrible. Then we get this. Show Wraps comes right back. And I'm so glad Bravo did this because actually this should have been the second episode. The first episode should have been the Sip and See because the show did not get good until the last 2 episodes. Baby, when Marlo said this sounds like Michael and William playing Mario Kart and Drew must have threw down a banana to make Ralph slip so she could get to the court before he did, I was done. Child, and Mayetta comes on and says that Drew says to her, if the marriage between her and Ralph doesn't work, she's going to talk to her crush. Mayetta says, who is your crush? And she says, Ty. Now, Drew goes on later on to say that she has flown to Texas to some of Ty's games. Child, let's keep going. Then we get into Sanya. And this is why Dr. Jackie was telling her, you don't need to let people know, especially your baby. Sanya had a miscarriage and lost the baby that she was pregnant with on the show, right? And it was devastating for her. And this right here, when he comes in and he says, dear God, please let us have a healthy girl. Like, girl, that tore me to pieces. So just tread lightly and be careful. But I'm glad to say that she is pregnant again. And we will see what she's having and probably let us know on the reunion. But I'm happy for Sanya. And I wish her nothing but a very successful delivery. So, child, Drew has been called back to Bravo to do some confessionals about what's going on with her and Ralph. So, Sheree is in there wrapping up her confessionals. She comes in and Drew is FaceTiming with Kenya. So when they get off the phone, Sheree comes and lets her know, you know, they haven't got along the best. But she understands and she feels for her. And then she says, I lost my dad like the other day. Now, we know how she stumbles over words. So I'm not going to say that she's not telling the truth. But it was the delivery for me. And is it true what Bravo is saying? Like, why is Sheree here and she just lost her daddy? Like, she is clearly devastated. And did we even know Sheree had lost her father? Has that been in the blogs? So Drew tells us that the reason the blogs were saying that Ralph had filed first is because his lawyer had put it out, but she actually got there before him. It's all a mess, just a mess. So Drew is sitting here in the confessional. She said that she lost her voice in the marriage. She said she allowed things that women should not allow. She said she allowed him having inappropriate relationships with women, and she allowed Tampa. So we finally got some resolution on Tampa. So he said he asked for a divorce. They started having an argument and it got pretty loud. And when they asked him, like, what was the argument about? He said he needed to call his lawyer. So then she called her lawyer, right? And they asked him, did she cheat or anything like that? He said he couldn't talk about it. They have to talk about it in the pleading. Then they asked him, did he come back to the room? He said yes. Drew said no. Then Drew said at that point, like, I can't do this. This is too new. So they took a break. So child, when they took a break, she took her phone out and she had 27 missed messages. Hold on. Then this is part of the 27 messages. Mimi Faust posted a story suggesting her ex, Ty Young, and Drew had an affair. Child. Then 8:01, the news of the alleged affair hit the press and goes viral. Child, this social media ain't nothing to play with. So then cousin Courtney gets up here and she says that it's no secret. Drew likes girls too. She has a good time. She's fun. And Ralph is aware of it. I don't believe Ralph and this girl cousins for 1 second. And it is 100% believable that Ralph will have cousin Courtney to come on the show, right? And him and Courtney got something going on to throw all this in her face when this really comes out. That's believable to me. And I don't put that above Ralph. Now, this is allegedly, and it is in my opinion, this is for entertainment purposes only. Now, Drew is all in disbelief because she is finding out that the story is going viral and it's everywhere. And she is shocked. But child, hold on. So then Courtney comes back and she says that she knows that Drew visits Ty in Texas. And she says that she knows that Ralph has a lot of discovery. She explains what discovery is, what he has gathered during his process of going through this divorce. Child, then her mic got hot. She says she has pictures of them on her phone. I'm assuming it's Drew and Ty. Then she goes on to say, y'all shouldn't leave me that long in a room with vodka. That means she gonna get to talking about it. Then she said now she sees why Drew wanted Ralph to adopt Josiah. So she could go on and be in a relationship with Ty and Ralph can pay her bills. This is not his cousin. I'm sorry. I don't believe it. I'm going to need to see a 23andMe or something like that because I don't believe it. So when they asked Drew who is Ty, she answered not into the context in which they were asking the question. She said she's a former WNBA player. She met her on the set of the movie The Past. Now, if she's been visiting Ty, she probably knows Ty before the movie started. I mean, I don't know in relation to the time, you know what I'm saying? But they also asked her, had they heard any of the rumors? She says she's just heard it right now in this area right here. But she says she heard it from Ralph and he's the one that probably leaked it. Now that I do believe is true. I believe that. I believe he could have done that. Baby, I cannot wait until this reunion. I cannot wait. When they handed out those little She by Sheree newsletters and Candy said, I wish you print some fashions. Y'all, I can't wait. I cannot wait. It's your girl, Millie Chun, and we can talk about all this. Bye, y'all.